I got a word, I got a word, I got a word for y'all today. God is sitting there knocking. You just don't recognize it as God knocking. So you're leaving him standing there at the door. That was so unnecessary. You did a whole backflip. With sight, you see a wall. With vision, you see a way. And when you think about it, yo, it really is that deep. That's what I get for hating. Like, karma be getting me quick. Because with your sight, you see the version of yourself that you are right now. But with your vision, you see the version of yourself that you are becoming. And it's like, what is going on? Am I a preacher or what? God, tell me. Hey, let me chill. I just know that God told me, so I'm gonna do it.
So grateful that I made it this far. Almost thought I had to call my mama in a cup. Benny's everything for me and everything I need. I will be nice.
Hey friends, listen, I feel like I ain't been here for a minute. Like it's been a few days since I posted a video because it was the weekend. It feels like it's been a long time. And what had happened was if you have me on Instagram, I was complaining because I filmed a whole video for YouTube on Friday. And my phone deleted the whole thing except for like 8 minutes. It was like a 22, 23 minute video. Deleted all of it except for 8 minutes. I was so mad for like a split second. And then I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I ain't even gonna let it bring me down. It was just too long for me to try to run the whole thing back. Like I felt like it wouldn't be as genuine because there was so much. Like I had put so much into it. To run it back a second time, it just wasn't going to hit the same as it did the first time. So I didn't even run it back. I was like, I'm going to let them have it. I'll post another video on Monday and be done with it. But it's a new day, baby. Because I got a word for y'all today. I got a word, I got a word, I got a word for y'all today. I got a word, I got a word, I got a word for y'all today. I got it. Okay. They was looking dead in my car. That's what I get for hating. Like, karma be getting me quick. Anyway, today's word is titled, Do You See a Wall or Do You See a Way? This stemmed from a Bible story in Joshua 6. I'm going to be reading verse 1 through 5, and it is the story of the fall of Jericho. I don't know how I just remembered all that. I didn't even look. Anyway, it's a story of the fall of Jericho. If you have never heard this Bible story before, drop a 1 in the comments. It's just really intriguing to me to see who hears it here first. I am reading from the NLT version of the Note-Taking Bible from Hosanna Revival. The link will always be in the description, and I'm reading verse 1 through 5. Yeah? Okay, it says, Now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. No one was allowed to go out or in. But the Lord said to Joshua, I have given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. You and your fighting men should march around the town once a day for 6 days. 7 priests will walk ahead of the ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day, you are to march around the town 7 times, with the priests blowing the horns. When you hear the priest give one long blast on the ram's horns, have all the people shout as loud as they can. Then the walls of the town will collapse, and the people can charge straight into the town. Now, if you've never read this story, go through and read it for context if you feel the need to. It really is a good story, and obviously miracles are performed, which is why this story is so often talked about. But y'all know I be having a different perspective on every daggone thing. So I'm going to speak on what I took from it outside of the fact that ridiculous miracles happened, right? That is why it's so profound. But when you really look into the verses, I'm telling you, it can hit you mad different. So I'm going to run the first half back before I give you my first point. Now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. No one was allowed to go out or in. But the Lord said to Joshua, I have given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. Now, the first thing that stuck out to me in that verse was the fact that the vision, the plan that God had was given to Joshua himself. It was not a vision that was given to everybody. It was given to Joshua because Jesus trusted Joshua with the plan. He trusted Joshua to execute that plan and not just sit on it. Oh my gosh. We gonna preach. I be feeling when it's coming and it's like, what was going on? Am I a preacher or what? God, tell me. It's crazy because a lot of times when God gives you a vision, he gives it just to you. And it's difficult and also so profound because nobody can see the vision. Nobody else could see the vision outside of Joshua. Yet there were other people involved in the vision. He was trusted to be a leader. He was trusted to execute the plan and put the plan in motion so that God could perform his miracle. See, even though we think we're so weak, even though we think we're not capable of these huge things, God will use all of us to perform miracles as long as we allow him. But we have to do the work. We have to execute the plan. Joshua couldn't just hear the vision from God, see the vision from God, and then go to sleep and then not perform what he was supposed to do, or sit there and question God like, well, that doesn't really make sense. God told Joshua to march around the city for 6 days. What? Like, the things that he told him to do were so ridiculous. It made no sense. Run it back. It says, you and your fighting men. So he needed a team. He said, go execute this, as in go get all of these people to help you execute this vision that I gave you that sounds ridiculous to begin with. You and your fighting men should march around the town once a day for 6 days. Just 7 priests will walk ahead of the ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day, you are to march around the town 7 times with the priests blowing the horns. Can you just imagine Joshua telling everybody this? Like, hey, bruh, what you doing this Saturday night, bruh? I need you for like the next 7 days. We about to go march around this town. Yeah. No, I know, bruh, I know. But I'm telling you, that 7th day when we do it, the whole wall about to come crashing down and the whole city about to be ours. Why did I just ghetto-fy it like that? But for real, can you imagine that? Can you imagine how crazy Joshua felt? Can you imagine how hard it was, how difficult it was to stand on that vision when that vision didn't really make sense? It was so miraculous. It was so supernatural. It was so extreme that to tell and deliver that message to other people that were included in the vision had to be the scariest thing ever. And I wanted to make that the first point because I think that so often we are the only ones that get the vision and we feel crazy. We feel like an outcast. We feel like, especially because a lot of times the vision is so clear in our head, in our mind, in our hearts, but to get it out, it's like I see it. Like, I swear I see it, but I can't really explain it into words. And so then when you have to tell other people, when you have to bring other people in to fulfill the mission, it is so difficult. And there's so much pressure as the leader, especially because the vision comes from God, baby. Like, that's some heavy stuff. That ain't nothing to play with. And it's hard to fulfill a vision that you don't quite understand yet. And it's very easy to sit there and feel like you're crazy, feel like you're tripping, feel like you're... Come on, I know you lying, bruh. Stop. So easy to feel like you're crazy because other people don't get it, because other people didn't see the vision. He only gave the vision to Joshua. So when Joshua had to call in all the people that were included, they were like, well, what about this? What about this? Imagine all the questions that they had. And he had no real answers for them. And that's a lot of our lives. Man, what? People been looking at me like I'm tripping, and I'm like, I don't even know myself. I just know that God told me, so I'm finna do it. If God gave you a vision, you are not crazy. You are chosen. God chose you because he trusts you to execute the plan. Don't sleep on it. Don't sit there and question God on everything. You don't need to know all the steps. You need to know what he told you to do. Follow the first step that he gave you and he will guide you. He will lead you. He will also bring you a very sturdy team to fulfill that vision with you. Now that's a whole nother story because anyway, the second point that I wanted to make is it says, I have given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. Have is past tense. Now, I'm telling you, I listened to this story. It's a whole story, right? I only read a little bit. So make sure you go back and read the story for context. But I remember reading and hearing about this story so much growing up in church. And the only thing that was ever really spoken about was that the walls came tumbling down. It was the whole song, right? And yes, that is so profound, but what about all of the rest of the context? Like it says, I have given you Jericho. Have is past tense, meaning it's already done. Oh my gosh. It's already done. God's will for your life is already fulfilled. You just have to go get it. The beautiful plan that he has in store for you, it's already been written. It's already yours. You just have to answer the call. You just have to go get it. It's like God is literally standing right outside your door with this whole beautiful, miraculous plan for your life. And you're not opening the door. It's as if God is standing right outside of your door just waiting for you to answer. And what's really crazy about that is a lot of times God is sitting there knocking and he ain't going to interrogate you, baby. He's going to wait for you to answer the door. And a lot of times we don't even hear the knocks because we can't recognize when it's God knocking. All those times you done tuned into my live and you don't know why you so locked in, God's knocking. All the times you be tuning into my YouTube videos, you don't even know why you sitting here still watching this. God's knocking. All the times you get randomly invited to church, all the random videos that pop up on your phone, all the random somethings that keep telling you to do something, that's God knocking. God's knocking. God's knocking. God's knocking. You just don't recognize it as God knocking. So you're leaving him standing there at the door, but then you're behind the door crying that life is so hard. I'm sorry. I was not trying to come at nobody's neck on this. Jesus. Anyway, the second point is that the have is past tense. God already has a plan set into motion for you. God's already working behind closed doors. It's already been done. Just answer the door already. Okay, that was so unnecessary. You did a whole backflip for all this money. This was not no little Amazon Five Below purchase. Like, y'all, stop playing. You got these people out here looking at me like I'm crazy and be for real. Like, you can't be for real for 2 seconds. I can. The third point I wanted to give you that I pulled from the scripture is that there's a huge difference between sight and vision. Mind you, my pastor preached on this on Sunday, which is what resonated the thought, or last Sunday. The difference between sight and vision. You see, because sight in this picture, in this story, all the people that had sight, they could see the wall, right? Joshua was the only one that could see a way. Ooh. With sight, you see a wall. With vision, you see a way. Sight is what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see with your heart. When you have sight, a lot of things can feel like a roadblock. Whereas when you have vision, a lot of things can feel like redirection. A lot of things can feel like opportunity instead of failure. Vision is what you see for tomorrow, whereas sight is what you can see for today. Vision is for the future. Vision is like, I see this, I hear what God is telling me, and even when it don't make sense, baby, I'm going to follow it. Even when it doesn't add up, even when the math is not quite mathing, I'm going to follow it because I can see it. It's like you can see into the future. I know that sounds so bizarre if you've never experienced it, but I'm telling you, it really does feel like that. Look, I got PTSD now, but I'm telling you, it really does feel like that. Whereas it's like, I know what I see right now. I know what I see with my sight. I know what I see with my eyes. I know what it looks like right now. And I know that you can't really explain it to other people that well because it's hard for you to even wrap your mind around it yourself. Because with your sight, you see the version of yourself that you are right now. But with your vision, you see the version of yourself that you are becoming. The version of yourself that you already are, you just have to step into it. Everybody in this story that did not get the vision from God could see a wall. They could use their 2 eyes to see the wall standing there in front of them. But Joshua was the one with the vision, and Joshua was the one that could see a way, not just a wall. He saw the opportunity. He saw the big picture because he knew what God put into his heart. He knew what God told him. Do you see a wall or do you see a way? Because when you have vision, you start looking at things different. You start looking at things mad different. You start utilizing all of your resources, even ones that you didn't know were resources, because you are so determined to get to that vision. You are so determined to see that vision out. And it's crazy to me because everybody that be on my live always mocks me because I'm like, it is that deep. That's like my thing. No, it really is that deep. And when you think about it, yo, it really is that deep. Because when you stop looking at everything with just your 2 eyes and start looking at everything with your heart, that is when God will give you a vision. That is when you will see a way and not just a wall. That's when you stop seeing every negative thing as a roadblock and you start seeing every negative thing as opportunity, as redirection to get you closer to living out that vision. That's when your life changes. It is that deep. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me chill. I hope somebody was able to find value out of that scripture the way that I was. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and drop the word vision in the comments if you made it this far in the video. Shout out to you. You a real one, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.